With preservation for this automotive application. Each one of these robots performs a process around the car body, but some of the working areas in between them overlap more or less. So we have some flexibility to choose what should each robot do. With the simulation, we can get more or less an idea of what the process is looking like, but it's not only until the end that we can realize how much each one of these take for their individual processes. Ideally, we want all of them to take the operation when just the robot's static, and then the first long operation when we're moving and approaching towards the first sealing operation, then all the tiny sealer operations that are relatively close to each other, and we have a measurement of the time for each one of the operations and the overall time that the entire process takes. When we hover above any of these operations, we can see them highlighted in the 3D space, and at the end we have of course the operation when we return back to the robot home position. All three of these look very similar, but we can see how the robot that is in the middle is the one taking most of the workload of the program. So for example, here we can take one of these operations that can be performed by one of the last robots and simply drag it and drop it to the other one to remove some of the workload of the middle robot to the one that is towards the end. We can introduce it as a new group or within one of the groups that we have already. With this one, we can already see that we're balancing some of it, but we still have maybe a little bit too short of time in the first one. So we can carry some of the workload from the middle robot to the first one. We can have a clear visualization of how long this whole process is going to take. The idea here is that you can balance this as good as possible and to have an immediate representation of how long is this entire process option in there. And when we jump back into the events and teach, and background simulation will be created. And when we're moving now in between points, we can see that all of the three robots are moving together because the information of the positioning of each one of them for all of the steps has been created already. We can select any of the robots and navigate to a specific point, and the other robots will follow to the corresponding position within the simulation. This can also be activated in the teach panel by simply clicking in the same icon for enabling the background simulation. And with this, we can also have the possibility to visualize the events that have been occurring in the background. So for example, in this case, the opening on the nozzles. And this will give us a full visualization also when we're stepping across the program. In this case, the three robots do not get crashing in between another.